over. Ooh, hey, that was loud. Uh, Thanks everyone for sort of handing over what's traditionally your lunch hour today to join us and talk about voting for the grant. I'm so excited. It's one of my favorite times of the year is to get this process narrowed down, get those 3 finalists, learn a little more about them, and then vote, and then be a little sad that we couldn't give it to everyone. But excited about what we are able to do for the organization. For those of you that do not know, the Nightingale Network is a group of philanthropists that work together collectively with smaller donations to make an impact to a group that supports women and girls in our greater Chattanooga area. So we're always very excited to get this process going each year and to award the grant each year. So that you guys know 100% of your Nightingale membership fees are what really backs this grant every year. And our goal every year is to give at least $10,000. And those of you who may not have known before, the wonderful and gracious Miss Karen Elliott has met our $5,000 match this year. So she matched, so we've gotten there, and we are already just over $5,000 in membership. That means that we've got the $10,000 grant ready to go, thanks to Karen matching that. And that also means that anyone else that joins, today, like I did, just paid my Nightingale dues today. So it's not too late, just so you know. Katie's going to share that link with everyone so that if you need to still pay your dues for this year, you can. But everything that happens today and through the end of that will be split between the other 2 finalists. So that is amazing. And yeah, we have, so that'll put us almost $90,000 in grants that we've been able to award since 2011. I'm not great at math, but I'm pretty sure that that's right, because it was just under $80,000 before. So super excited about that, you guys. We have 3 finalists, as all of you know, and Miss Erica Burnett, our Women's Fund Executive Director, is going to have the honor today of introducing those individuals, and they'll be able to speak a little bit about their organizations so that you guys get a little more information about those finalists so you can select who it is that you want to vote for. So I'm going to turn it over to Erica and let her do that.
Thanks, Mayo. For those of you who just joined, I greeted everyone by saying happy almost Friday. So good to see you all. I love seeing so many familiar faces, especially knowing that we can't gather as much as we would like to, and also some new ones. So welcome, everyone. This is one of the most exciting parts of, I think, my job. We get to bring so many different voices and a variety of experiences and alignment for different issues that all collectively impact the trajectory for women and girls across our city and state together to really, I think, first and foremost, amplify and highlight the amazing work of so many of our local organizations. The part that I always struggle with the Nightingale Network is that we only have such a limited pool of dollars to give away, and there's so many worthy causes in our community. But it's truly an honor and a privilege to be able to shine a light on this the amazing work of so many organizations across our city, and I think really bring folks in who, many of us on this call are some nonprofit professionals or have interfaced with different organizations, and then some are brand new. And the goal really is to expand our collective understanding of these dynamic and complex issues in our community, really through the lens of organizations who are bearing the torch for these causes. We actually received 11 11 amazing grant applications this year. And it was the job of the committee to be able to narrow this down to three finalists, which was very difficult. And I say that not just because, in theory, I was also reviewing all of the applications and trying to figure out how the heck do we make these choices? How do we identify, just three organizations? And the reality is, eventually it is our goal to really be able to champion and share the message of any of our grant applications, any of the organizations, knowing that they are all worthy causes. But here we are, and it is truly our pleasure to be able to present these three finalists and hear in the voices and from the perspective of these organization leaders exactly the impact that they are having, and how that fits in with our very lofty goal of shifting Tennessee from 49 to 1. So without further ado, I'm going to start with Reverend Sherry Cawthorn from Beloved Woman. Their project actually is to be able to support 10 women to complete their program and help launch their own business. So Sherry, I'm going to turn it over to you. I think yep,
okay,
there it is.
I'm good. All right. Thank you so much. It's so great to be here, and it's such an honor to be among so many great organizations. So I'm just really excited to be able to present a little bit about me. I moved to Chattanooga about 4 years ago from Nashville, and I'm a United Methodist minister. I have been for about 12 years. And I've primarily worked in urban churches with populations that struggle with poverty. And I've tried to do Beloved Woman in one form or another as ministry. But after I pastored here in Chattanooga for a couple of years, of course, I was doing research on poverty because it's just a big passion of mine, particularly to help women rise up out of poverty with sustainable solutions. And having been passionate about economic and community development, I just looked around and I thought, we have got to have this program here. And a friend of mine said, go to Co-Starters. So I went to Co-Starters and really formed it in my third year of pastoring. And then when about the time COVID hit, we became an official 501c3 about March of 2020. And we launched our first group in the fall of 2020 in the middle of COVID. We had women who were learning how to take their underdeveloped business ideas and turn them into something sustainable. So this year we've put 8 women through our program. And basically, I just want to kind of walk through a little bit of the logistics of our program and talk about our mission. And I have a little bit of a PowerPoint if you all want to do a screen share. If someone can do that. Not sure how, just hit share screen maybe. Oops. All right, can you all see this? Yes? Okay, good. Okay, so we are Beloved Women. Our main goal is to create opportunities for women. And our passion is helping women who are particularly financially disadvantaged to become self-employed or find a pathway to a living wage. And of course, we found through research that there are thousands of women in Chattanooga who are raising families on one income that's at or below poverty level. And among these women, many have this secondary income that is underdeveloped, and such as catering or housekeeping, producing or selling a product to neighbors, friends, or community outdoor markets. And these women are our target population. So we step in to assist them at no cost to them in turning this secondary business into something larger that can provide income and eventually replace that minimum wage job. Well, as I mentioned, research shows that out of the 20.7% of community members living in poverty here in Chattanooga, 2/3 of these are women, which you all know, who are heads of households. And if you do the math, just in Chattanooga alone, that's over 12,000 women. There's another really shocking statistic that 41% of children born into Chattanooga are born into a household of poverty. So we have no surprise to anyone, a very big population that's living in generational and systemic poverty. So who qualifies for our program? Women who are 18 and over, who are financially disadvantaged, have a GED or in a GED program. And we request that if a woman is in a recovery program for addiction, that she has at least 6 months of sobriety. How do we do this? We have 3 phases in our program. Phase 1 is a curriculum that has been curated by professionals and experts in the field of economic and small business development. One of these is on my board, and he teaches economic development at Eastern University in Philadelphia. And so he's really helped me with this curriculum. And so a woman enters into this 9-week launch, and we meet for 2 hours a week. We do provide childcare. And she works through this curriculum. We do a 6-step feasibility study to find out if her idea is feasible. And then we walk through marketing, who's her target customer, how do they build that business plan, everything from licenses to budgets to how to launch this business plan and make it successful. Phase 2, after that 9-week period, women enter into phase 2, and this is really where a lot of the work comes in. We pair them with a female business mentor. She also has the opportunity to apply for a microloan in the amount of $1,000 through our partner, St. Luke UMC. And they continue to attend a small group support twice a month. We have them build websites, we provide continuing education and encouragement, and just really walk alongside of them as they pick up this plan and make it shine. In phase 3, this can be 1 to 2 years. A woman feels that she has had some success, she's got some foundation, and she comes back and becomes a mentor and encourager for women who are coming into the program. And just quickly here, I want to do a little entrepreneur spotlight. These are some of the women who are launching businesses or have launched this year. So we have a woman who makes artisan crowns. You all might have seen her at local markets in Chattanooga. Deborah Pride, she has a company called Worthy of Beauty that she's launching, and she provides wigs and makeovers to women recovering from cancer and also people in nursing homes. Darian has a business called Delightful by Dare, home cooked to go meals delivered to your door. And Melissa has a business called Amarna Roses, these beautiful preserved roses that last for 2 years. Shantae has a nonprofit called Evangeline, and she provides to-go meals for the homeless. She's been pretty much funding this out of her own pocket for years. And Karen Clay has a business called Cakes by Karen Clay, and they are pound cakes that really take you back to your grandmother's kitchen. And she's already selling her cakes like crazy. Our partners, our office is at Second Presbyterian Church. St. Luke UMC provides microloans, and we partnered with Your Big Brand with Susan Lambert to help women build websites. And we have our first website building workshop 2 weeks from now. Looking forward, we worked with 8 women this year. Next year, we want to work with 18 women. And so funding from this grant will be used to provide sponsorships for 10 women to attend our January 2022 9-week launch. And this is basically our budget and what it provides. As you can see, we work with, I'm the facilitator right now. We provide childcare, website marketing, training materials, a little bit of food, and 1 year small group support. So I'm sorry I was rushing through this because I didn't want to take up too much time. But does anyone have any questions for me? Okay.
Thank you so much for that information. There was some chat in the box, and I even contributed that some of the members of your amazing program, I think many of us are familiar with them. So it's amazing to see the fruit of this program in our community, and even knowing that in this relatively small circle that we've been impacted. So thank you so much for sharing. If time permits, y'all, we will do some breakout groups. So if you have questions that maybe you didn't want to ask in front of the larger group, that's not a problem. You can save them to our smaller breakout sessions, or feel free to drop them in the chat and I will do my best to facilitate. Yeah, I knew that was going to happen. So we're going to move on to our next finalist. Oh, goodness. So if Miss Jackie Clay, if you wouldn't mind presenting and sharing a little bit about Family Promise with the group, we would love to learn a little bit more.
Hi, everybody. Let me pull up my PowerPoint slide. Can everybody see that? Okay, great. I'm Jackie Clay. I'm the Executive Director of Family Promise of Greater Chattanooga. And our proposed project is called Stabilizing Single Mothers. During our couple of minutes together, I want to briefly discuss the history of Family Promise, our vision and mission, some of our services and activities, and then more about our project details and how we plan to collect data and follow up with the participants. Family Promise is a national organization that was founded in 1986. Our founder was a businesswoman. She was on her way to a meeting and she came across a homeless woman, decided to get her a sandwich, and they started a conversation. During that conversation, the homeless woman, whose name is Millie, told Karen that homelessness made her feel disconnected from the community and that she felt a lowered sense of self-worth. And so Karen decided that she wanted to start to do something about that. She and her family started to serve homeless people in New York and in New Jersey, where she lived. From this relationship that began with Millie, Family Promise seeded its very first affiliate in New Jersey. And now we have grown to over 200 affiliates all across the United States. And what we try to do is make sure that people who are experiencing homelessness or near homelessness have that sense of connectedness, that sense of community and hospitality that Millie said that she was missing because she was experiencing homelessness. Our affiliate here in Chattanooga began nearly 25 years ago, and we have grown tremendously from a one-room office that we used to have in the community kitchen to now a 6,000 square foot facility. We believe at Family Promise that every child deserves to sleep in a warm bed at night. And our goal is to create a community where every family has a home, sustainable income, and a chance at a better future. We try to do that by using community partnerships to help our individuals and families that we work with become stable. Some of the things that we do to assist individuals and families is provide shelter for homeless families with children. We're in the process of renovating 2 houses that we plan to use as temporary shelter for 2 families while we work with them to transition them into permanent housing. We also assist individuals and families with rent and utility payments. We provide 1 year of follow-up case management to ensure that folks not only acquire this housing, but they remain housed. And our programs actually do show success. More than 80% of the clients that we work with are still housed 1 year after they graduate from our programs. In addition to assistance with rent and utilities, we also provide referrals. We give away lots of household items like cleaning and laundry. materials, and we also connect the folks that we serve with jobs and job training programs. We have a partnership with Sodexo and Erlanger, and recently we had a job fair here at our facility, and a couple people got jobs on the spot. We also refer to other programs in the community like Skill Up Tennessee, the Christian Women's Job Corps, and our Family Promise National has developed a 6-week financial literacy training program that we also work with our clients to complete. In terms of this project, we are asking for $10,000 that would allow us to work with 10 single mothers. Each one of the single mothers would receive $1,000. And with that, we hope that we can help either transition the mom into permanent housing or keep her from losing her current housing. So we would use the money for things like application fees, deposits for EPB or the Tennessee American Water Company, rent, utilities that may be behind. But we would also, in addition to providing financial assistance, give referrals to other organizations as needed, referrals to jobs like at Erlanger or Sodexo, or job training programs that we know about. We would also work with each mom to complete the New Beginnings Financial Literacy Program, because we do understand that in order for a family to survive and also thrive, creating an environment where mom can save money responsibly and work at a job that pays a living wage, these are things that are going to ensure that they remain stable long after our 1 year of case management has ended. In terms of follow-up and data collection, each mom will work with a case manager, and they will meet monthly. These monthly meetings will be used to determine if additional services are needed for the family, and also to make sure that mom is feeling that connectedness. When we talked earlier about Millie and her feeling of being disconnected and that feeling of not feeling of being worthy. So our case manager will make connections to additional services in the community, but also encourage. We will use our homeless management information system, HMIS, here in Chattanooga. It's called Service Point, to collect data on the women that we're serving. The kinds of information that we put in Service Point are demographics, but we can also put information in Service Point about the types of services that we provided, how much money we gave, and when those follow-up appointments are, and case notes about how mom and kids are doing. So HMIS will help us to see what all is being and will be achieved with the families in this project. So I'd like to say that we are very, very grateful for the opportunity to apply, and very honored to be considered as one of the 3 finalists for our Stabilizing Single Mothers project. Thank you so much.
Jackie, thank you so much for that amazing overview. It always affirms our mission here at the Women's Fund when we're able to see not only that immediate impact, but really thoughtful interventions that address some of the system levels, right, causes and barriers for success for women and children across our city and state. And so we really appreciate how thoughtful you all are in really providing those wraparound services and addressing some of the bigger challenges that these women face in our community that we know have only been exacerbated by COVID. So thank you so much for sharing. Does anyone have any initial questions right now for Jackie? If not, I'm going to turn the floor over to Jennifer Fritz from the Chattanooga Area Food Bank. And Jennifer's going to share a little bit about their emergency food box program. Jennifer? Uh-oh. Jennifer, I think you're muted, or there's some. Nope, still can't hear you. I think we're having some sound challenges.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
I need a new computer. Great way to start us off. But thank you again so much, everyone, for being here. I'm Jennifer Lockwood Fritz. I am our Director of Community Engagement here at the Food Bank. Our mission here at the Food Bank is to lead a network of partners in eliminating hunger and promoting and providing better nutrition. We do that in a variety of ways, different programs through our sack packs for children over the weekend, through our mobile pantry program, through our school and in-school pantries, and probably our most recognizable and flagship direct client service program is our emergency food boxes. Our emergency food boxes are provided to individuals and families in an urgent need of food. There is no proving that you need food. It is courageous to ask for help, and we want that experience to be as dignifying as possible. And so what we've done to kind of break down those access barriers, number one being stigma, and number two being transportation, is we've just recently moved our emergency food box program to our Foxwood Food Center. It is right through the Wilcox tunnels in the Eastdale community. We moved it there because for a variety of reasons, but access is easier through the bus line, and it's in a residential area. It makes walking easier. And then also it allows us to have a bigger area. So right now during COVID, we're still in a no contact, no touch distribution model. But as we look forward into the future, we really want that experience to be more like a shopping experience. And so while anyone is able to access an emergency food box, we predominantly serve single women and their children. In that particular area, 30% of women are living in poverty, and 50% of the households in that area are female-led with no husband or male counterpart, and they have children. And so we are asking in this project for $10,000 to serve emergency food boxes to women and women with children. We know that so let me back up a little bit. So food insecurity really disproportionately affects women. So thinking about a male-led household, or a male would have a food insecurity or hunger at 15%, looking at women at 30%. And in Chattanooga specifically, women in women-led households are 30% more likely to be living in poverty and be food insecure. So we know that that is a population that we need to better serve. On top of that, we're offering SNAP assistance. So we already offer SNAP application assistance. So we are going to start having our SNAP coordinators at Foxwood, because 45% of the people that we sign up for SNAP are women-led households. Again, SNAP is just a way to address food insecurity. It allows families to choose the foods that they want. Just another way to kind of break that cycle of poverty. And so we're asking again for the $10,000 to provide emergency food boxes to women and children. And I did not prepare a PowerPoint.
It was not necessary at all. No peer pressure here. I believe what I shared with Katie to make sure she communicated was whatever and however feels most comfortable for you. That is the voice that we wanted to hear today. So thank you, Jennifer. Any questions right away for Jennifer? This amazing work and necessary work, and being able to highlight again how these intertwined systems and disparities disproportionately impact women and children, especially. And I think we all know, if people are hungry, it makes nearly anything else impossible to be able to function and be successful in life. So thank you so much for sharing about your program. So I think Katie has been so gracious for any of our visual learners, such as myself, to provide some of the words in our chat box. You can see a little bit of an overview of each of the programs and projects in our chat box. We luckily, as a part of this initiative through the Nightingale Network, have an opportunity for each of the 3 finalists to actually create a piece of collateral that we are hopeful will be helpful for them and for their organization as well. As many of you know, and maybe some of your interactions with smaller nonprofits especially, sometimes we have to jump through lots of hoops to receive a few dollars here and there. And we wanted to make sure that we were not perpetuating that same dynamic here with this particular grant. So we actually, one of our goals is to help build the collateral bank for each of these organizations. And so we were able to co-create with each finalist videos to highlight their programs that can, one, be shared widely with our Nightingale Network members who were unable to participate today, so they can learn a little bit more. But I personally think most importantly that these videos can be shared widely for these individual organizations to continue to communicate the impact of their work and bring people in as investors, whether from a volunteer perspective or financial donations, etc. So we will be posting those videos on our Facebook page, both for the Women's Fund and Nightingale Network page. So please be on the lookout for those links so that you can watch and learn a little bit more about each of these organizations. We do have about, for our scheduled time together, about 20 or so minutes left. So what we would love to do is break into some smaller groups to give everyone a chance to ask a few more questions, learn a little bit more. I always love to take an opportunity when I have such amazing thought partners and colleagues in one place for us to take advantage, just to learn a little bit more about the work that they're doing. Ask some critical questions. This is your vote, and we want to make sure that you are as informed as possible so that these funds are going exactly how and where you want them to go. That is the goal of our collective philanthropy work. So I think Katie, with the magic of the internet, is going to put us all in some small groups, and we hopefully will have a chance to rotate through at least once or twice so that we can mix it up a little bit and you can ask some different questions. If you need to go, thank you I see quite a few of my board members were able to join us today. Thank you all so much for taking time. I always appreciate the way that you are such wonderful ambassadors for our work. A few folks have had to drop off, but thank you for joining us today. And we just appreciate all of your commitment and don't take your time for granted, anyone's time for granted.